Another great Southeast Game Exchange show is in the books. This was my first time attending the Southeast Game Exchange, and I have to tell you, two things immediately come to mind when I reflect on this show. Number one, the size of this show was massive. It is one of the largest video game conventions you will find in the country. And number two, I was really almost overtaken by how incredibly chill the atmosphere was. It was an amazing time. Let's take a look and see some of the highlights of Southeast Game Exchange.
We need caveman games for the collection. I have the box and the manual, but I don't have the game, and passed over a couple of subpar copies, but this is mint, so we are happy campers. We had a very rare Clue Land prototype cart. That's super cool. You don't see that every day. Wow, big box PC games. I see hits like Grim Fandango, that was a great one. I see an Advanced Dungeons and Dragons game, an Ultima Underworld. We're gonna be asking about a few of these. Very exciting. Well, it's the last loose card I need. It's definitely gonna be a placeholder, but I might just do it so I can move on and look to other things for now. Yep.
Oh my goodness, look at this incredibly cool Pac-Man cocktail table, $800. The monitor is gorgeous, the thing is freaking flawless. I'm gonna have a hard time not trying to fit this in the back of my vehicle. All right, time for us to hop in the car and get back to the studio. All right, so we're back in the studio, and I want to call out a few amazing items I purchased at Southeast Game Exchange this year. Let's take a look. First up, my goodness, man. So if you're a fan or if you're familiar with the Ultima series of role-playing games, there are actually 9 single-player campaign titles in the mainline Ultima lore. Ultima 9 was the last of those games. Unfortunately, it was not well received. It was rushed through development and it had lots of issues. But my goodness gracious, it's also one of the largest big box RPGs ever developed. I should say, ever manufactured. I don't know that there is a larger big box game out there. And let me tell you, this one that I found was absolutely gorgeous condition. And here's the thing, when we look at the individual pieces, this is what I love about classic 80s and 90s big box computer games. These are the days when you got stuff. You got a cloth map, you got books, you got posters, you got tarot cards, you got a little ink, you got instructions out the wazoo, you got reference cards, you've got the media, you've got the strange hyped promo for Ultima Online 2, which never came out. It's just an amazing collection of stuff. It doesn't matter to me if the game was not so great. It has a place of honor in my Origin Ultima collection, and I was so excited to do this massive condition and completeness upgrade for my copy of Ultima 9. Next up, another super wonderful thing to find, the Sears Telegames release of Superman for the Atari 2600. Of course, as you know, Atari kind of let Sears sell its own branded version of the Atari 2600 called the Sears Telegames, and Sears actually rebranded a number of the classic first-party Atari titles. Some of them are very, very difficult to find. They didn't print too many copies copies of them. One of the most beloved and hard to find of the Sears Telegames was Superman. It had a distinct blue box where almost all of the other games in the Sears Telegame series had black boxes. The artwork is, of course, as you imagine, is iconic. And my goodness, when I laid eyes on that, I realized I was going to have to get this game and bring it home. I actually brought some trade bait to the show. I decided with my NES collection, I'm focusing on the licensed games. So I had some really hard to find unlicensed Color Dreams games. And so we worked out a really cool trade that we both thought was outstanding. And I brought Superman home. Next up, a couple of NES games that I have wanted to find for a long time. As you know, I am that crazy guy that's going to piece together an entire complete-in-box licensed North American NES set. So games that I either didn't have or had in poor condition. Popeye, this one, a major condition upgrade for me. I laid eyes on this, and this was one of the most flawless CIB examples of one of the black box NES games I've ever seen. The price was amazing. There was nothing I could say except, please take my money. And last but not least, now, if you are an NES collector, you know that one of the most difficult boxes to find in the NES library is the complete Taito Arkanoid box. So this one is obviously, as you can see, a much different form factor from the normal NES boxes, because this not only had the cartridge, but it also had the Voss controller, the paddle-like controller. Granted, I realize the box condition is rough on this, but I gotta tell you, as someone who's been looking for NES games for decades, you almost never find this box in any condition. I had to pick this one up and put this in my collection. It was one of the few things I definitely have never had in the collection, and I'm proud to have it here now. Well, folks, this was, again, an amazing Southeast Game Exchange. I found a bunch of stuff. I made some new friends. I've seen some old friends. And again, the vibe there is so chill, so welcoming. Everyone there is family, even if you never met them before, that kind of thing. So highly recommend. If you like that kind of vibe with your conventions, check out Southeast Game Exchange next year when it comes around. What else will be coming around? Well, me pretty soon with my next video. I hope you like this one. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this. Did you go to Southeast Game Exchange? What did you get? As always, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time on It's All Dug in Games.